So XRP is about to break all-time highs. And what we need to talk about in today's video is what to kind of expect going into the end of 2025, how high XRP could go via a price prediction, and why we are currently surging in the crypto markets. Now, remember, as always, never financial advice, just trying to put you guys on the plays that I'm in. If you're new around here, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to the channel. So let's go ahead and dive in. The overall cryptocurrency market is looking absolutely phenomenal. We're seeing Bitcoin holding above 118,000, Ethereum finally showing its rise, up 23% on the week at 34.19, but XRP, it's honestly surprising me how much the retail sentiment for XRP has kind of been under silence and not really being discussed. But what we need to talk about today is how high can XRP actually go, and look at some technicals. So right now, XRP is up it's up 8.8% on the day, with $14.41 billion exchanging the hands of traders. Extremely strong volume, extremely strong candles. And again, things are looking exceptionally good for XRP. So let's go ahead and talk about what are the reasons as to why XRP is up so much. First and foremost, the conservative crypto rebellion breaks after longest House vote in US history. Conservative rebellion over cryptocurrency bills leads to a marathon 9-hour vote, while PBS funding cuts await. Now, the House of Representatives set a new record for the longest vote in history on yesterday. Voting kicked off at 1 p.m. on Wednesday on a procedural measure that would have allowed the House to begin debate on several bills, 3 cryptocurrency measures, plus a spending bill funding the Defense Department's yearly budget. But the most important thing about it, and the thing that is impacting XRP positively, is the 3 digital currency bills. The House was initially expected to vote on the 3 digital currency measures in a push dubbed Crypto Week. The Guiding and Establishing National Innovation of U.S. Stablecoins Act, Genius Act, the Clarity Act, and of course the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act proved a flashpoint during Wednesday's marathon vote. Conservatives made an 11-hour-ish push to link 3 bills together, citing concerns that the Senate would take up the Clarity Act without passing the Anti-CBDC measure. Privacy hawks were concerned that without the Anti-CBDC bill, which blocks the government from issuing its own digital currency, the Clarity and Genius Acts together could give the federal government unprecedented insights into how private citizens spend their money if a US-backed digital asset was created. So after hours of closed-door negotiations, however, they agreed to allow these individual votes to go forward, with assurance that the Anti-CBDC bill would be linked to Congress's annual defense policy bill, the National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA. All of these things, guys, together is what is fueling the market. Donald Trump is 100% trying to get everything passed because he is all for it, which is actually extremely bullish for crypto and could give us direct runway for the next 5 to 10 years. And we see it. XRP went literally from a pretty reasonable downtrend, mainly consolidation. And I'm looking just from the beginning of 2025 till now. And we had this bottom point, $1.90 on June 22nd, where sentiment shifted. Bitcoin is rallying to its all-time high. And now XRP is approaching its all-time high. It's literally pennies away. Right when we break over $2.39, we have officially entered price discovery. And right now, every single person that I've seen on at least social sentiments haven't really been talking about it. For those of you that are looking to buy XRP with USDT pairs on a non-KYC exchange, there's always a link down below for BTCC. So take advantage of it, guys. Literally, they're giving up to $10,000 for anyone that signs up with my link down below. So again, when I find cool opportunities, I try to share them. Let's take it over to crypto Twitter. Pentoshi. With XRP, it held up for the past 7 months while most of the market nuked and kept this structure. It arguably has little resistance from here because it never spent the time trading here on the verge of price discovery. In terms of positive catalyst, the Genius Act will be, when you gotta sneeze, you gotta sneeze. It's a one take though. In terms of positive catalyst, the Genius Act will be or is passing very soon. XRP will have their own stablecoin or RLUSD and bank license, which both should be approved shortly. SEC lawsuit being dropped entirely in the next few weeks. They likely will also be working on some acquisition speculative with all of these regulations clearing them. Of course, there's also ETF inflows to be expected as long as that also goes live. Hate it or love it, it is a pretty good setup into a decent tailwinds, and so far has traded very, very cleanly. So again, Pentoshi, one of the older crypto Twitter folks, is extremely bullish on XRP with over 136,000 impressions coming in from yesterday. In addition, guys, crypto currently, I want to talk about overall market sentiment and overall market structure. Crypto currently sends out a post earlier this morning, about 42 minutes ago. Early signs of global liquidity index downtrend forming. First time this has happened in 2025. We should still have some room to rally, but definitely something to keep an eye on. So right now, the global liquidity index we know is usually a 75-day laggard period for Bitcoin to follow. So with that being said, it's forming a downtrend finally in 2025 for the first time. But what does that mean for all of us? Well, that means we still have probably another 75 days before we see, typically speaking, before we see a retracement in Bitcoin's price action, which of course can which can pull the market back down. And the expectation is honestly going into the end of 2026, we should have a really strong 2025 going into 2026. We should have a pretty strong rally in price action for Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto markets, and hopefully altcoins will follow. We know altcoins outperform Bitcoin in a risk-on market with quantitative easing, all the bills hopefully passing. This is going to set us up for some extreme success. So how high can XRP go? Once we enter price discovery, you guys got to remember, right now people are calling and they're stating that we are looking, here I'm going to look at the, let's look at the 1 week chart here for XRP. A lot of people are talking 2017-esque type vibes, or end of 2020 going into 2021 vibes. And remember, when this happened in 2021, we saw XRP go from $2.40 up to $1.97, which was a 10x, almost a 10x in price. But in 2017, we saw something extreme where it went from way below that, almost nothing at a few cents, all the way up to $3.38 at its previous all-time high. XRP, in my opinion, still has the potential 3, 5, even potentially 10x if the bull case scenario pushes even higher. So with that being said, right now we can look at XRP as something more like this, and we can end up being somewhere around $18 to $20 range before end of year if we have that parabolic catalyst that pushes the entire market up. Guys, I appreciate your support as always. Just wanted to come on here and give you guys my sentiment for the market, my updates. If you want to subscribe on your way out, that'd be amazing. The community has been growing. We've been around for 4 years, and I hope to continue creating crypto content because it truly is my favorite and most enjoyable market, in my opinion, out there. I appreciate your support as always. That's all I had for you guys today. And until next time, as always, everybody, keep investing. Peace.